You're listening to the Law of Attraction Radio Network.
The secret to well-being is discovering the power that is your birthright, the power to create a happier, healthier life, drawn from our own vast internal resources. Join Jules and her guests as they gently guide you to shift your perspective from the familiar negative to the divinely connected, a place that will not only positively impact your world, but possibly shift the planet. It's all right here on Law of Attraction Talk Radio.
Well, welcome to Law of Attraction Talk Radio. I am so glad you're here with me today because today we're going to be talking about the Family Guide to the Law of Attraction. This is a great new book, and I brought on Mary Petto to come and talk to us about how this applies to us manifesting, but not only the adults in the family, but how can we bring this information to the children as well? And I think it's so great, especially as a hypnotherapist, because you have your developmental years between the age of 0 to 7. That's the perfect age to get the law of attraction ingrained into your child's head so that they use it automatically throughout their lives. That way, you are really going to ensure that they know how to use this incredible law to serve them. I think this is so important. So I'm delighted to bring Mary on today. And she's going to be talking about a whole slew of things that we can really grab onto. So I'm really thrilled about this interview. So I just want you to sit back, relax, have a good cold beverage, and then just enjoy this special episode of the Law of Attraction Talk Radio, because we're talking about the family guide to it. This is so important. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after these messages.
It's here, it's hot, and it's a must read. It's the science behind the Law of Attraction magazine. Every issue brings you great articles and in-depth how-tos from all your favorite Law of Attraction experts, authors, scientists, and medical professionals. Go to lawofattractionmagazine.net.
So glad
That's lawofattractionmagazine.net.
Did you know that every human uses only a small portion of their powerful mind? Jules Johnson, international certified hypnotherapist, wants to introduce you to your powerful mind in order to create your dream life. In as little as one session, Jules guides you into releasing limiting beliefs that keep you from achieving wealth, health, better relationships, and even true love. Schedule a session in Palm Springs or set up a Skype video session for those nationally and internationally. Jules would love to serve as your guide into living your dreams. Go to creativeguidedimagery.com or call 951-201-2166. That's creativeguidedimagery.com.
You're listening to the Law of Attraction Radio Network, heard by millions worldwide through 38 internet radio stations and in over 135 countries. Be sure to sign up for your monthly updates and get all the latest information on LOA radio events such as cruises, workshops, and seminars, as well as information on the latest shows, topics, and guests. Go to loaradionetwork.com and sign up today.
Welcome back, and I'm so glad you could join me on this really terrific episode. You know, this field never gets old because it's always expanding. And as it expands, there's more and more of it to learn about and how we can make the best use. So what we are learning today will be expanded out even in a year or two. I guess that's why I've been doing it for so long, is because I keep on learning about the principles of it. It never gets old. It's very, very powerful. And I know that you're going to learn a lot today. So let's invite Mary on. Welcome, Mary Petto, to Law of Attraction Talk Radio. I am so excited to talk about your book.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited to keep talking about it.
So, your book is called The Family Guide to the Law of Attraction. And this is fantastic because often we focus in on just one person instead of our immediate environment. So, this is a great opportunity for us to learn how to mix and mingle everything together, right?
That's right. That's right. I you know, if I were to just keep perpetuating speaking to individuals and their ability to harness the quantum field to manifest whatever they want, of course they can.
Yeah.
What happens sometimes is we start to lose it, right? And you start to lose that tingly feeling. And while they get the tools, when they learn them, just like sometimes falling off the wagon, if you're on a diet and then you don't anymore, you try to quit smoking or change a behavior, it's always better when you have your tribe around you understanding the process that needs to happen to stay in that high vibration to manifest. So really, that was the concept behind this book.
So the concept was that it keeps you focused on that path in which you can create your future. But I see it also as this tremendous opportunity to teach your youngins on how they can, I mean, if you can teach them at an early age, oh my goodness, imagine the people they're going to blossom into. It's incredible.
Yes, and that is my passion, is getting the message that we can co-create with the universe to kids. I mean, if you think about when you're in middle school and high school, and if you knew then,
oh wow,
you know now, and I'll tell you what else too. Our kids today have a lot more stressors and a lot more pressures on them than we did when we were kids. And it's just 24/7. And let's face it, while we often as adults often feel trapped in our situations, even if we don't understand anything about the law of attraction, we know deep down inside that we can choose to change our situation. Kids don't have that sense of autonomy. They are in the classes they were assigned, they've got the teacher they have to deal with, the social situations that they get caught in. They, more than anybody, I think, really need to get this message that they are empowered and that they have the power to change their situation and co-create.
You know, another thing that I think is huge is that you are getting rid of the victim mentality at an early age. And oh my goodness, to teach children that one concept will literally change their lives for the future. And that's something that all the schools, everybody, psychologists really don't focus in on. And that's where the law of attraction is the most effective, when you don't feel like you're the victim, when you know that you created the situation for a reason.
That's right. And so, you know, there are those of us out there, we know about the law of attraction, we connect to source, we're in the vortex. There are those adults, though, that are not, and either because they haven't gotten the message or because they hear it, but they don't, I hate to use the term buy in, but, you know, they don't believe, just like they don't believe gravity is working for them.
Right.
So, you know, but if I, you know, when I talk to kids, you know, they can grasp this, but if their parents or their caregivers aren't on board with what they're doing, then when they start to go down that negative path and their vibration starts to contract, who's there to remind them how to climb back up that vibrational scale? Who's there to flip the switch and switch the mindset? If they're learning about it from me in a school assembly, you know, where's the rest of it, right? So in this way, it's, you know, it's fun for everybody. And it really is designed for everybody to kind of keep pace with and read along together.
And I would think that kids would be able to say, well, mom, stay back, get back into focus. Oh my gosh, that is terrific.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, let's talk a little bit about you so that we can introduce you to the audience here. How did you get started in all of this? What was there one factor or did something happen? When did you discover the law of attraction?
Well, well, we all have that rock bottom place, right? Um, where something happens. There's always a transformational space. And the truth is that I had always kind of just gotten what I wanted. As a late teen, early adult, I just decided what I want, got in alignment, and went, not knowing that there was a reason behind that. And kind of unfortunately, I really didn't have a lot of patience, to be honest, with people that would complain and not just decide to change it and move on like I always did. But as I got the boyfriends I wanted, I got the college I wanted, I got the first job I wanted, I got whatever. It just kept going and going until I had children. And when I had children and they were small, I started suffering from terrible anxiety, really, really bad anxiety. And what is anxiety about? A lot of times it's control, fear is always fear of lack of control, fear of things happening around you, fear for your children. It's just anxiety and pressures and overwhelm. Well, at the time, I happened to also be a social media consultant. And I had clients all over, and this was in the beginning of Facebook, right? So every business in the world was trying to find help and they didn't really quite catch on that they could do it themselves. But so I had this thriving business, and through word of mouth, I ended up having clients who talked about the book, The Secret. And so if they were talking about it, then I had to know what they were talking about. So I had to read The Secret, and that just, it blew my mind because it brought everything back to me from giving birth to my children, from before that, how I just commanded my universe. And I was so awakened to why that happened and why I lost it, most importantly. So I started studying. From that moment on, I never had another anxiety attack. And what I started doing then was helping other people. First, kind of secretly, like in a little, if I ended up in conversations with coworkers or other people and I could hear their struggle, I'd coach them on the law of attraction and they would flip things around. And I kind of just worked kind of under the ground like that for a few years until a few people suggested that I kind of come out of the law of attraction closet and hang up a shingle, and I did. And I haven't looked back. So I've been helping people, and I have been speaking, and I've run workshops, and it's really been wonderful. But really what got me in the past 2 years was realizing that people would leave my presence or my workshop or my coaching, and they'd feel great, and they'd send me messages. I manifested this, and everything turned around, and I'm already in a relationship, and all these great things would happen. But then a few months later, they'd ask for a follow-up visit, and they lost it. When I tried to determine what are the differences between the people that call me back for more coaching and the people that don't need it. And the difference was that they were in a group environment, or they had me come in and there were other family members there. Or people in workshops tend to know each other. When I speak, they're sitting with their coworkers, so they're all on the same page now, and they could do just like what you talked about, remind each other that they are going down the wrong path vibrationally. So therewith came my new stance that when I'm coaching, that I suggest they bring other people into thing. And
that's a great idea. I have not heard of that before, where you're inviting people, but that's brilliant. If you ask me, that's brilliant, because that is going to significantly change the lives of the one person. That's so important. And always coaching is really one-on-one. and then they lose it. That is so smart. I love that.
Oh, thank you.
That is great. So, now is this book is now out and it's available on Amazon, right?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and there are some booksellers with it. But I always like people to get that immediate gratification when they hear about it, not have to leave the comfort of their couch to hit the buy button. But yes, it's out there. It's been 3 weeks.
At 3 weeks. Okay. And now your website is so great. I really, really like it. And it has all of these other things like vision boards and things like that. I mean, you go the full gamut. It's really terrific. A beautiful, well done site. So it's and there's a lot of things that we can learn just from your site. What is the web address?
It is portablevisions.com.
Portablevisions.com. Now, portable meaning?
Well, because believe it or not, when I was in my early stages of coaching, kind of underground, I had this product that's actually patented called the Vision and Progress Box. And it's a vision board tool. When we think of vision boards, right, it's a poster board, and we cut out all of our images or those symbols that will resonate with us when we take a moment to internalize what those symbols are. But I found that people, well, not the kid-like people, but most people got kind of stressed about the commitment of putting that symbol down with the glue, and then we know that we need to keep it out where we'll see it all the time. And they're like, well, I'd love to have this in my office because that's where I am, but I don't want other people seeing it. And how do I do this? And so this product is actually, it's flexible in that it doesn't use glue. So no stress there. And it's portable in that you can actually put a lid on it and like put it away, when you've got company coming, and you can just kind of put it away. You can put it in your bag and it doesn't get ruined. It uses magnet technology, actually.
Oh, nice.
So the website started as the place to buy the Vision and Progress box. And when I came out, as they say, out of the closet and really publicly started letting more people know about the message and how I can help them go through that transformation from victim to empowered creator, it just kind of kept building up from there. And so what you see is really some history, and that is the name for the domain.
I love it. I love it. Okay. So let's talk about children.
Yeah.
And how do we get them to understand these concepts around, I just see the parent actually learning as much when talking to the children about this.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so empowering. So, but how do they understand that?
Well, it's interesting, in our adult human, very human, egocentric minds, we overcomplicate everything. And for everything we put out there and say to the universe and get in alignment with, there's always that piece of us that starts to doubt, well, how is that really going to happen? And I'm not sure. I better make a plan B, or whatever it is that we do, which, of course, ends up sending mixed messages out into the field and, kind of blurs the lines. And what are you getting aligned with? Your love of what you want, or your fear and your plan Bs? And let's just, so, we overcomplicate things.
Yes, we do.
Kids don't have the baggage. So from the moment they understand that they are, in a sense, I'm going to use the term Harry Potter, right? So like creating this magic. And I say Harry Potter, but I mean that for, for the 9 to 19-year-olds, right? For everybody, the teens, the high schoolers, the freshmen in college, this Harry Potter component. And once you get them past understanding, and I relate them to relatable stories where they can see that they have they have put this in action, but just unwittingly, they didn't know. If I can show them that they are on board, okay, how do I get in alignment? How do I do it? And they do it. The feedback that I get with the kids that I work with is overnight, the transformation and them being able to manifest things, because they don't have all those plan Bs and other stuff that we put in front of us when we're trying to manifest, right? And we have that doubt. We disconnect from source. They don't disconnect. So it's good news. It really is good news. If we could keep the adults away from their relationship with the universe, they're in good shape, really.
You know, that is so smart. And yeah, now that I think about it, it seems like the kids are able to remember because they have less baggage. And we adults, we have learned at a later age. So we had to overcome a lot. Oh my goodness, isn't this wonderful for the future? Just
Yes.
the fact that to teach children this at an early age, this holds dramatic progress and promise for our future. This is so exciting. Can you
I know. I'm like, I
imagine the
can't
world?
even.
This is so incredible. And that's what we adults, we get flustered and we say, oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But yet stay on top of the feeling of how magnificent it is if everybody thought like this. It wouldn't be push and pull. It would be total empowerment of the entire world.
That's right.
Wow, how beautiful, especially in this day and age when everybody's divided about something.
Right. And you know what else too, the kids, and we can go back to the kids, but it applies to us too. Even the most privileged of us are starting to feel a little victimized by what goes on outside of our homes and our lives. So it's not even a matter of how much, abundance one has. It's still the environment of negativity. And you know what, though, I think, Jules, the good news is we are getting to see a trend toward concepts like mindfulness and meditation. And so that part of, the practice of spirituality or connecting to the universe, it's starting to become more mainstream. So hopefully, even in schools, you see it in the press all the time. A lot of schools are starting to move from disciplinary action to forced meditation and forced mindfulness and those kinds of and creative outlets as a different way to approach it. And I think it's great because I think it gets to the source of their problem rather than punishing whatever it was they did. And so if that's starting, wouldn't it be great now if we can come in with concepts like, we'll call it the law of vibration, and introduce that as the next layer onto what people learn when they go to yoga class or wherever it is that people are awakening to.
Yeah. So do you put in there how parents can get kids interested in meditation?
So it is, it's 100%, like I mentioned, it's meant to kind of be read together in pace together. And so it starts right out with the broadest explanation of what the law of attraction is, but it goes right to stories, because what resonates with people is when they have examples or proof that somebody like them in some situation like they has put these practices into place. And so these stories, and they're stories about kids in school, single moms, men, work related, romance related, time management related. It's all stories are in here, written at pretty much a PG level so that it's applicable. So everybody can read it. But there's experiments in here, and there are practice, exercises in here. And so it all culminates that it goes without saying that meditation is part of it. Visualization in meditation is in here in the chapter about believe. It follows that ask, believe, receive path basically through the book. But with things to do together and exercises to do together and ways to kind of rewire our daily living so that we are always consciously creating not just the big things we want to manifest, but the daily outcomes that we want to have from the moment we wake up in the morning.
Wow. So I still think that the children would be able, when reading it together, the children are really going to be showing the parents.
Managing up, I like to call it. Managing
I love that.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, I think, and I don't talk about it in the book because I find it's a little heavy, but regardless of our age in this bodily experience we're having, we're all equal spirits. You know, we're spiritual beings. And this notion of we're here to teach our kids, you know, we have to flip that around, right? That generation is here to teach us something new. They're spirits just like we are. And so we need to get out of their way and let them guide us, you know, and reveal to us our purpose.
Absolutely.
Right? So I agree with you 100%. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, if I live alone, but if I had, it would be better for me if children did live with me so that we could,
right.
you know, really keep on practicing it daily.
Well, and you know, it is called the Family Guide to the Law of Attraction, but at every point where I possibly can, even right on the back cover, I do try to get this message across that family can be, you know, your coworkers, it could be your club, it could be your bowling team, those who are part of your tribe, you know, who's there with you every day, that is your family.
Yeah.
And that's where your accountability is going to go. And, you know, that's what it's all about. I mean, you know, that underlying message here is let's get the kids on board and let's keep this, you know, let's start in the home with these practices so that we can create. But the truth is that just like, you know, I always got those positive results back and they just kept on going from when I was speaking. And there's a room full of coworkers, you know, they spend 9 hours a day with each other, right? So that's their tribe, you know, like them, don't like them, it's their tribe. And they are there to help you course correct when you go down that path. So family, you know, in the broadest sense.
You know, wouldn't it be great? And I know I have a lot of teachers who are listening in public schools. Wouldn't it be great if they had this book and could teach their existing tribe, the classroom, this, and the kids took it home to mom and dad?
Yeah.
Seems like that would solve a lot of the parental problems, if you ask me.
Yes, it would. And I'm glad you brought that up. I just can't believe you brought it up, but I've manifested this moment. So thank you, universe. And Jules, I have put together a program that I do school assemblies, but I have a broader program that also incorporates a teacher program that kind of runs in conjunction and practices and exercises for 30 days during homeroom.
Wow.
And things like that, and the additional component of a parent meeting, right? To say, this is what your kids are doing. There's no downside to any of this. There are no risks to any of this. It's only good for everybody, including you parents, right? And so the basis of it all, you know, however that message needs to get out, as far as I'm concerned, let's get it out there.
That's great. Now, it transcends every single religion out there. So you're not going to get in the way of the religious beliefs because you can incorporate that for everyone. I mean, really, it's just being spiritual, living your day-to-day life to the best use and to the best future.
Right. And I do try my best. Well, when it comes up, I mean, I did not major in religious studies, but at the most, I was raised with a particular religion, and my husband's family was raised with a different religion. And I have friends in yet other religions, but there is this common thread that is very much in alignment with tapping into universal source. I mean, even that Protestant phrase, I believe it's a Protestant phrase, when you pray, move your feet. What is that? That's inspired action. That's the receive step, and ask, believe, receive. It means get in alignment, believe it's coming, but move toward it. I talk about inspired action in the book. That's how the universe delivers to you, right? Your new car doesn't just land in your living room after you look at your vision board with the car on it. You have to follow the universe's breadcrumbs. And how do you do that? That is about action. And that is so much in alignment with this Protestant phrase.
Yeah.
When you pray, move your feet. I mean, that's just like a little tidbit. But if you go back, if you look at Judaism, and if you look at, even some of the Asian religions, there is this common thread. And so if somebody is very knowledgeable in a particular religion and they look at this, they could draw the parallels, they could see the dotted lines. So, I mean, that's, I don't know if we'll ever get too far into that topic, but you are right in that this does transcend all of that. And I talk right at the beginning, I say, it's quantum physics and neuroscience. So,
and energy. Everybody knows about energy. So
right. It's
that
energy, and you could call that energy God, or you could call it spirit, or you could call it the vortex, or the universe. So
exactly. But that's what it is. Einstein, he always talked about energy, and truly he had it down. So it's just following the same scientific laws of the universe. So
everybody loves Einstein.
Yeah, everybody does. So, this is really incredible. This is really incredible stuff. And it's time to bring in your tribe. And I love that word, the tribe, because it can be your immediate family with kids, or it can be your neighborhood or friends or whatever. It's your tribe. So it truly is about the law of attraction and family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful. And I want to remind everybody to go to portablevisions.com, because I think there's so much information on there that you could really pick up a lot, but also you can purchase the book there as well.
Yes.
And do you have a newsletter or something?
Actually, I do have an email list, and yes, I do send out lots of tips and sort of insights into blog pieces. My most recent one was how to manifest something better than winning the lottery.
Oh.
And so that goes out to my mail list. I have on my website 2 opportunities to opt in. One is an extended report. It's not a report, it's like a PDF book called 336 Positive Affirmations.
Oh, wonderful.
So somebody could download that and get their juices flowing. It's all put into categories and things. Or there's also a free printable gratitude piece of artwork that you can fill out and put on your wall. So you could choose one of those to get their free downloads. And by doing that, you're on the email list, and then you get the good content that comes after that. So yeah, that's the way to opt in for a newsletter.
Great. Okay. Now, what if teachers out there, and I know we have got many, many teachers listening. Now, if they want to contact you about how do they bring this into their classroom, you can help. You have workshops and everything around that.
Yes, I do.
Okay. And they can contact you through your website.
That's right. And if I could just blurt the email right here too.
Sure.
They could find, but I'll just blurt it right here so they don't even have to go there. That's connect@portablevisions.com.
Oh, okay. Connect at portablevisions.com. Okay, good. And
Mhm.
then they can contact you, and I'm sure they'll have questions. But, I think it's high time that we bring this into the classroom, because what they will learn from their teacher, they can take home to their parents.
That's right.
And changing the world is what it's all about right now, and this is the way to do it through the children to bring up to the parents. I
That's
think
right.
this is the best concept ever. And once they see the children really manifesting their own dreams, oh my goodness.
I have to tell you about one of the stories, little sneak peek in here. Well, there are several for kids and teens and clients that I've worked with. And one of them, I mean, it sounds simple. There's one about a fourth grade girl
Uh-huh.
who was being bullied socially at school, and how literally overnight the whole situation dissipated. I mean, to the extent that like one of the kids was no longer in her class the next morning. So this stuff is real, okay? And then there's another story about, and even these little things, these little tidbits of stories can really change things over. So one of the stories in here was a teen in high school, and he just was not happy at school, but he was a good student and he had friends. He just couldn't stand being there. And, when I connected with him, it turned out the source of his problem was that in the longest class of his day, I believe it was bio, the teacher had assigned them seats, right, in September. And the teacher put him over there, and all the other friends were on the other side of the room. Is it a big deal? Well, it was a 2.5 hour class. And every time there was a break or they worked on labs together, the friends were all over there catching up with each other all the time. And he was over here with these kids that were quiet, really weren't his cup of tea, weren't engaging with him. And he really felt like the FOMO that the kids talk about, right? So there was that, but this impossibility of moving the seat. And at the same time, a problem in gym class, because of somehow the way the gym class got split up, it was like these permanent assignments of not this team of people has to work together all the time, and they're over there, and again, separated from yet a different group of friends. So he was, what's important to us is not the same as what's important to kids, but this was what was bothering him. And so we put together a vision that he fell asleep with, but there was a lot of emphasis when I worked with him on affirmations. And, I'd love to be able to find it. I wish I bookmarked it in here. The affirmations were about simply, I sit with my friends in bio, I hang with my friends in gym. Over and over through the night. Oh, here it is. Yep, that's it. I sit with my friends in biology, I hang with my friends in gym. It's on page 48. This is the middle of his story. And the next morning, like, you wake up and you kind of forget where you are, but he touched base with me at the end of the following day, and he said, when I woke up, I was in the greatest mood, but I hadn't really remembered what I had been doing. I just had to rush off to school, but I was in a good mood. And when he was on the bus, the mantra came back in his head. I sit with my friends in biology, I hang with my friends in gym. And so he got to class, and he got to that biology class, and the teacher announced that he wanted to do a completely different experiment. They were entering into a new unit, and he wanted to change up the way the groups were for the lab assignment. So he switched people around for this lab assignment. And then at the end of the class period, he said, these are your new permanent seats. And sure enough, he was with a couple of his friends. So everything that seemed impossible before he went to sleep was now a reality.
Wow.
Went off to gym class, and in gym class, there was a substitute teacher who announced that the regular gym teacher was not going to be back for a month. There was some physical broken ankle, just something wasn't happening. And so the substitute teacher had a completely different paradigm of how she structured her gym classroom, and boom, back with the friends again. So everything happened overnight. And, you know, these kinds of stories, when kids hear that, you know, what seems impossible, is it a coincidence? Well, what is a coincidence? A coincidence is our vibrational resonance just reflecting back on us what our intention is, right? And so it really is tremendous, and it's really for all ages.
Isn't that wonderful? That is a great story.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's time that this all go mainstream. It's time. It needs to be in every class throughout the day. Kids need to be learning how powerful they are.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, right now, they're taking away the power. You got to do as I say, and you got to follow these rules and everything. It's like, okay, there needs to be more. So I am going to ask everybody that, hey, come on, law of attraction practitioners, we need to be focusing in our desires to help these kids, because that's truly how we're going to change the world.
That's right.
That's the only way we're going to change the world, because I got to tell you, we adults, we're too far gone. We have to really turn the focus on the teachers and the children to bring us and turn us where we need to go. And I'm not saying in which way is right, because I have not a clue, but whatever we're doing right now, we need to focus more in on the future. The only way to focus in on the future is through these kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Get them this book.
And the book.
Get them this book.
Yeah. By the way, talk about this book. If you don't think that this would be a great Christmas gift, holiday gift, New Year's Eve gift, if you don't think that that would be appropriate, I mean, hey, you shouldn't be listening to this show, because I got to tell you, that is the most appropriate book to be giving somebody, and it's very, very important. We have to bring in the law of attraction to these schools. And I'm so glad that you're doing that program. And I hope everybody, all the teachers, and I know you're out there, I know you are, you need to be contacting Mary here, and go to portablevisions.com and check it all out. Get that book for your class, by golly. Start doing that.
And it's so digestible. It's only 88 pages.
There you go.
Cheers.
That's wonderful. Well, we are all out of time, but I got to thank you so much. This was a wonderful, wonderful book and a wonderful interview, and it's full of a whole bunch of things that we've got to really look at now. And you gave us the direction, and I really appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, Jules. It was really my honor to be here with you.
Oh, you have to come back. You have to give us feedback on all of the teachers who contacted you. Okay.
I will.
Great. Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you, Jules.
Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with another great show from Law of Attraction Talk Radio. If you'd like to comment on tonight's show, send an email to jules@loaradionetwork.com, and have a great week.